I had a warehouse and they were going out of business. And so that's, for me, one of the things that I learned, like when I vet my warehouses that do my fulfillment, so my 3PL, my third-party logistic companies that do the fulfillment for me, I vet them on their ownership. If they are leasing space, I am not interested. Because if they don't pay their bill, that means my stuff is going to be stuck in that whole mess. So I look for ownership. So in this particular case, I wasn't vetting then. I didn't know, situations happen, you learn, right? And so they were leasing and the landlord wanted them out for non-payment. And they only had a week to get out or all of our stuff was going to be locked up in there. Well, they had a meeting because they wanted to start printing my catalog and I didn't trust them. I just had the intuition to know, don't do it. And I didn't. So they were upset with me. So they had a staff meeting. And in the meeting, they said, we are going to close. We're closing within a week. And the one thing, I don't want anyone to call Traci Lynn. I want her stuff to get stuck in here. But how many of you know, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And as soon as that meeting was over, they were calling me. They found somebody with my number and called me to tell me. That was on a Friday. That whole weekend, I had a speaking engagement that Saturday. I know most people would not have gone to that speaking engagement because this was an emergency. I went to that speaking engagement. And Sunday, I handled the problem because I was already grateful that God gave me that insight. So I knew I was already okay. So Sunday, I got on the phone. We had a meeting, handled everything. Monday, I had a letter from my attorney. I went up with the Broward Sheriff in Florida, got entrance. They had to let us in. And I was the first one to get all my stuff out. See, I've been down that road before. It took me a week to get out. It took me a day and a half this time. And my footprint was almost 50,000 square feet in this warehouse. Before it was 10, it took me a week. It took me a day and a half. I was out. I knew what to do. I had the tractor trailers ready. I had made all the calls that Monday morning and I had my whole staff over there. We packed and we got out. Now, there is something called an aftershock. When you're in an aftershock moment, things don't hit you until later. So if you live in LA, anybody in here from California? Okay. Hey. So in California, when you have an earthquake, a day later, hours later, you have something called the what? And it's not as severe, maybe not bad, and you walking and anticipating it for days. When's it going to happen? So because that happened, I went into an aftershock mode. Then I just felt like, oh, everything is coming against me. I don't know what happened, even though I got through it. And I remember my son coming into the room that Friday because we had a cruise. I was taking all my leaders on this cruise. And I wasn't going to go because I went through all of this and I was having an aftershock moment. So it's 1:00 and we're supposed to be on the cruise by 2. And I'm on the floor crying it out. And my son was about 14 at the time. He came in my room. He said, Mommy, we got to get down there to the cruise. I was like, no. He said, why are you crying? I said, everything that happened. He said, but didn't you move? Didn't you get your stuff out? Didn't you get a new warehouse? I said, yeah. He said, so what you crying for? I said, because I'm just processing. He said, we ain't got time for that because that seafood buffet is over at 3:00. I need you up and let's go. I got off that floor, got myself down there, got him down here for his little seafood buffet. But in those moments, we can forget. We can forget who we are. And the last part of that was that even in my business, I had an opportunity to sell it. There is something in business called the jump off. I mean, we don't probably have time for that today. But I had an opportunity to sell it, but I wouldn't sell my name. Why? Because my name is trademark. I own 33 trademarks, 30 patents. I patent my products. So now I license the big box stores to sell my products because I do own those 30 patents. I do still have those 33 trademarks. I always make sure that I had it in a different name than the business because if I sold it in the business, it would go there. So I have like 8, 10 companies that do different things. And some are patent companies of mine. Some are real estate companies of mine. Some are trusts that I own for my real estate. So I have a lot of different things doing a lot of different things. So everything is always protected. So in selling this business and some other things had gone down in a moment. Somebody say in a moment.
A moment.
There are moments in a moment. Here it was, I had already at this point made about $90 million, and I had a moment, even at that point. So I want you to prepare for the moments. And so there was a moment that I forgot who I was and what I've done. And I had all those patents, all those trademarks. I almost forgot because I was in a moment. And I'm an animal lover, and I had a German Shepherd. I have a German Shepherd and a small dog. And my German Shepherd, very playful, my Coco, she was in the mirror when she was a puppy, loved the mirror, always finding the mirror, licking the mirror, licking herself in the mirror. And one day, while I was going through this, my son came and he put a mirror in front of Coco. And she ran and she was scared and she was shaking because she didn't see herself as the big dog. She saw herself as that puppy. So when she had an opportunity to see who she really was, she was afraid. She forgot that this is what you grow into. This is who you become. And the Lord was speaking to me that you're not a puppy. You're not small because of what you've been through. You are a big dog. Woof. Come on, y'all. Woof. You got that big dog energy in you. You are a big dog. And sometimes a situation can take you back to the puppy moments where you forget that you're a big dog. Woof.